those of y'all who just stepped in, I would like to welcome you to another episode of the Rebellious Rhymer Podcast. Black conservatism without the black. But yeah, let's go ahead and switch gears here now. I don't know how many hip hop heads are out there. Yes, I'm done talking about politics and YT liberals and Democrats and all of that. Sometimes I feel I need to give it a rest. I'm interested in more than just politics. But for all my hip hop heads out there, how many people know about Salt and Pepper? Let me see a thumbs up in the comments if you know about Salt and Pepper or fans of Salt and Pepper or fans of hip hop, period. Any hip hop fans out there? Any hip hop heads out there? Let me know. Give me a thumbs up. Give me a thumbs up. Yeah, so Salt and Pepper have recently been going through some legal issues, okay, in an attempt to receive their masters. All right. Salt and Pepper are suing Universal Music Group. All right, so there's an article about it. On January 8th, 2026, a federal judge dismissed Salt and Pepper's lawsuit against Universal Music Group, ruling the group never really owned their masters. Okay? So they're saying that Universal Music Group is saying that they never owned those masters, and that's why the judge ruled against them. But what I want to go through today is the legal clause that these record labels used in order to make sure that Salt and Pepper do not get their masters back. Like I said, y'all don't know if y'all are into hip hop, but if y'all know about hip hop, then y'all would know about Q-Tip and what did they say? What did Q-Tip say about industry rule? Industry rule number 4080. Record company people are shady. So yeah, record company people are shady. Obviously, it's designed. These record companies are designed to rip off the artists and take all the damn money. And now that you got these 360 deals, I'm disconnected. Am I back on? Okay. Now that you got these 360 deals, hell, artists aren't even really making the money off of their merch and shows anymore with these 360 deals. But anyways, let's talk about Salt and Pepper in their legal woes of trying to get their masters back, okay? Here's some of the clauses that cause for them not to be able to get their masters back. First, let's start off with the third-party ownership clause. Okay, this was a clause that was used against Salt and Pepper. So the group original contract that they signed in 1986, it was not signed directly by members of Salt and Pepper, Cheryl Salt James and Sandra Pepper Denton, okay, with the record label. They weren't the original members that signed the contract. Instead, it was an agreement between the label Next Plateau Records and Noise in the Attic Productions. Okay, those are companies owned by their producer, Herbie Lovebug Azar. Okay, also Herbie Lovebug, he was a love bug to, to several members of this Salt and Pepper band. I believe he started off dating the original DJ, the original Spinderella before they replaced her with the other Spinderella, and then they had some type of issue with that original Spinderella and Cheryl Salt James. They had some kind of tension between each other because Herbie Lovebug was messing with both of them. So yeah, that dude was just yeah, he was all over the place, huh? So they replaced that Spinderella with another Cinderella. So not only was he, controlling the business, he was dipping his cookie in the cookie jar as well, if you know what I mean. But anyways, yeah, so Herbie Lovebug owned those companies, Noise in the Attic Production and Next Plateau Records. The contract explicitly stated that the production company would be the sole and executive owners of all rights, interests in the recordings. So Those recordings, all of the Salt and Pepper music, was all owned by Next Plateau Records. Herbie Love Bud. Okay, that's the type of business that he set up. That's the type of contract he set up. He runs all the business. Okay, that's one of the reasons why they were not able to get their masters, because they were hired on. And this is what we're going to talk about next: is this work made for hire. All right, and what is work made for hire? This was a contract that Salt and Pepper signed. Okay, this was a part of their clause in their contract. Is work made for hire. When the artist is hired by a production company to create music, the legal author and owner of the copyright is the employer, not the performers themselves. So whatever Salt and Pepper music that they made, pushing, and let's talk about sex and get up, everybody get up, and all of these classic hip hop songs that they made, right? They had no ownership to none of that. They were just hired as workers to produce these songs for the production company. But these songs are owned by the production company, not the performers themselves. So I guess, at that time when you young and you hungry and you're trying to get put on and you just going to sign these contracts, you're not going to really go over them like that. And, even if you do, you may not understand everything. I mean, not without an attorney, but you young and you're trying to get put on and stuff like that. You're just going to sign that shit and, so you can become a star. And that's what a lot of people did, not really understanding the music business, because it is a business. It is a business. It's not just art and fun. It's a business. So Salt and Pepper tried to work around these legal issues using Section 203. And what is Section 203? Let's break it down. Termination rights limitation. Okay, so the duo attempted to use Section 203 of the Copyright Act, which allows creators to terminate a copyright transfer and regain ownership after 35 years. Okay, so they sign a contract, they make all the money, whatever, and after 35 years, according to this Section 203 of the Copyright Act, after 35 years, you have the right to get your masters back. But they had a clause to where they did not let them do that. Let me continue. However, Judge Denise Cole ruled that since the artists have never personally owned or transferred the copyrights, the production company owned the rights to all the music. And they had no statutory authority to terminate those rights. Salt and Pepper did not have no statutory authority to terminate those rights. So they could not use that in the court of law. So the judge ruled against them. So, Salt and Pepper's legal team is pretty upset. They're upset at that. And they plan to appeal. So I wish Salt and Pepper good luck with that. And I hope they do get their masters. You know what I'm saying? Because, they deserve it. They deserve it. And Spinderella, she deserves a piece of that too. Salt and Pepper. Just to throw that out there. Spin deserved that too, because she's just as much as a member of the group in our eyes. And when it comes to hip hop heads, a lot of us think that Spinderella, she should receive a piece of that as well. But that's just my opinion. I understand y'all, people say that, well, she's just a DJ and she was paid to be a DJ and stuff like that. But we gotta take care of our DJs, man. The party ain't a party without the DJ. But yeah, so I wish Cheryl Salt James and Sandra Pepper Denton luck on that. And keep on fighting the good fight. Get your masters on your masters, man. That's so important. That is so important. Your kids can eat off of that. You don't want to pay to put some label exec's kid through college when you could be paying to put your own kid through college. The hell with that. Yeah, fight and get your masters. Get your masters, man. But yeah. So yeah, like I said, good luck with that salt and pepper, and make sure you push that real good. Okay.